you hate the thought of working past 55 or 60? Do you hate not being able to live the life you deserve today? Do you hate not knowing what your financial future looks like? It's time to stop doing what you hate. Here's your host, Mr. Harold Green.
Hello, everybody. This is Harold Green of Bright Tree Financial Group, and it is time to stop doing what you hate. I hope you are having a fantastic day today. It's a Sunday for me. Had a hard time sleeping last night, man. I mean, we got these wintry conditions over here, and the wind was blowing the rain sideways. And so, because we live in a condo with a pretty big balcony, and we live on the third floor, and so when the rain is blowing in like that, it blows into the upper floors, and then they got these drains where, you know, they don't drain down to the ground. They drain directly down, and then the wind blows that wherever it blows it, and it just sounded like somebody was, you know, using a 5-gallon bucket and dumping water on my lanai from like 2 o'clock this morning. And so it's just kind of like, you know, tossing and turning. And then, but what got me was I got these shows in my mind, and I'm not sure when to get them out. Like, because I always worry about saying the wrong thing. There's this one show that I've been cooking. You can't live a rich man's life with poor man's thinking. And that's still cooking a little bit. But today I'm going to give you guys a prelude to that. And this is a very important one because I'll be straight up honest with you guys. Until I realize the difference between these two things, my life never went anywhere. And it's the major reason why I struggled. I was praying, begging God, pleading with God, I need money for this. God, I need money for that. And, you know, I was working hard, trying to do the right thing, and nothing was working. And this is what I learned, and I'll share it with you guys. It's one of the biggest keys to my success. And if you implement this the right way, it's going to be one of the biggest keys to your success. But I'm going to go back a little bit and talk about my mission. And my mission is to help the people in the middle class, whether you are upper middle class, lower middle class, middle class. I don't care who you are, where you at, what you do for a living, because Proverbs says there is profit in all labor. And idle chatter leads to poverty, but there is profit in all labor. So are you guys ready to get it? I'm about to unlock this thing, and I'm about to blow it up. So 1, 2, 3, let's get it. The title of today's show is Don't Eat Your Seed. All right? Don't eat your seed. What am I talking about? Don't eat your seed. Well, the Bible says that God gives seed to the sower and then bread for food. And today's show is not going to be super long, but it's going to be powerful because I want you guys to meditate on this, and I want you to go back, look at your life, and then figure out these two things. Figure out your resources and think about this. All right? Is this money for my needs, or this money seed? Seed or need? And so here's a little nugget. Once you're able to meet all of your needs, then everything else becomes seed. And what do I mean by seed? It's basically the extra resources that you get, the extra resources that come into your life, right? A lot of times when people get extra money, the first thing they do is they either go pay a bill or they, go buy something that they want. They hardly ever think about sowing that seed back into the ground. What do I mean by that? Well, there's different things you can do with money. You can save it, you can invest it, right? You can give it, or you can spend it. And for years and years and years of my life, I heard this jacked up, and I'm going to put it out there. I heard this jacked up preaching that says, if you get extra money that comes into your life and is not enough to meet your needs, then it's seed. Give it back to us, and then God will bless you, right? I heard that for a long time, and I was stuck in that. Now, I know these people mean well. I know they're coming from a good place. I understand that because I was there myself. But you know what? I never got out thinking that way. So guess what I started to do? I said, all right, I'm going to take this extra money or whatever, and I'm going to start to sow it into my own business. I'm going to start to sow it into myself via education. I used to give 10% of my income because I felt like I was told to do that. I felt like that was, what I needed to do. But when I got a deeper understanding of how I'm supposed to give, who I'm supposed to give to, when I'm supposed to give it, things took on a whole different meaning. Instead of giving 10% of my income and then me not having enough left and then me putting my bills on credit cards and racking up debt. Yes, I did things like that. And that was not wise. But I did it because I felt like that was the right thing to do. But until I realized that I needed to start sowing in myself, getting myself educated, right? Starting my own business, sowing that money into my own business, putting that money into my life insurance policies, putting that money to work in the ground so that it could reproduce after its own kind. And I'm going to tell you guys something. Seed only reproduces after its own kind. You cannot sow an apple seed and expect an orange. And I'm going to tell you guys something. You cannot give away money and expect money to come back to you. You gave away kindness. You did something kind. You sowed kindness. The money was just the end result of that. But the big seed, you sowed kindness. You sowed love. You sowed compassion. Those are the seeds, and you will get those things back. There is nowhere in the Bible where it says if you sow money, you're going to get money. No, you invest money, you get money. You save money, you get interest. I know some people might get mad at me about this, but I've studied this out and I put it to work in my own life. And I've seen where people have taken their money and they treated it like, you know what? They ate their seed. A lot of times people spend that seed on their needs, or they spend it on their wants. And here's another thing. You can actually create your own seed. I'm going to say that again. You can create your own seed. How do you do that? Well, it's very simple. If you're living a certain lifestyle, which you can do, everybody understands this, you can cut back. And when you cut back on certain things that you really, really, really don't need, all right, those are wants. There's only two things that are very important, need and seed. And I'm going to say this to you. When you sow the seed in the right place, you invest the seed in the right place, the return on the seed is what covers your wants. The return on the seed is what covers your wants. Meet your needs, invest your seed, then you can have the things that you want. Why do we have it so backwards? Well, I think there's a corruption in our thinking because of a corruption in the teaching and the corruption in the instruction that we get. Because the people that are teaching you things about finances, sometimes they don't understand the gravity of what they're saying. They don't understand the long-lasting impacts of things that they're saying to you 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. How is that going to impact your life? I was talking to a client the other day, and she says she tells everybody that she's super excited that I'm way younger than her and that I'll be around to see her retire and live the kind of life that she wants to live because I'm younger than her. And I said, the truth is so many people, they have financial advisors that are way older than them, and they put financial plans in place that they'll never see come to fruition because the guy either retires, he passes away or whatever. And I said, the challenge is no one really wants to trust a young person. Nobody really wants to trust a young kid with their finances. And she said, I didn't even know how old you were at the time. And I said, yeah, I just carry myself like I'm an old dude. And probably by the time, when I met her, I was like in my 30s or something like that. So I think we've been together for more than 10 years now, I think, maybe something like that. So I was like 39, 40, somewhere around there. But, no one ever really knew how old I was. It's because I carried myself a certain kind of way. I educated myself a certain kind of way. I sowed back into myself and I learned the things that I needed to learn. I invested my seed. And we kept our lifestyle very, very, very basic. Today, our lifestyle is very, 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 very basic. Although we can afford major things, to me, those are wants. Those are simply wants. And sometimes I'll indulge myself with a want only when my seed can afford it. Only when the return on my seed gives it to me. I don't spend my seed covering my wants, and I don't spend my seed. I don't grow my needs. I'm going to say that to you again. I don't grow my needs. My needs are very basic. Shoes, place to live, right? I don't need to have the nicest house on the block. It's not necessary, right? I don't need it. I don't entertain. I don't have people over all the time. If you do, that's great. That's your life, right? Enjoy that. Do that. That's you. You do you. But because you know what? Chances are your seed is giving you a big enough harvest to be able to do that. But if you're doing that out of, it became a need, like you increase your needs, that's tough. I won't go get a $2,000 Lamborghini car payment or a Lamborghini lease payment. I won't do that. I will not do that. If the return on my seed is not large enough for me to do that, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. The biggest thing that we went and borrowed for is we went and borrowed for our house, our condo. We borrowed on that, and that's, we borrowed to buy that because that was just, smart, right? But that price, that mortgage hasn't changed at all. We haven't refinanced it. It stayed the same. So no matter how much money I make over what my basic needs are, I'm not going to increase my basic needs and then start eating into my seed, right? And so we do our best every single year to create more seed, create more revenue, and then we take that revenue, reinvest that revenue. And so I'm going to put something out there. In 2020, I saw this house, $2.4 million. It was fantastic in Hawaii standards. It was phenomenal. It had 4 or 5 bedrooms, had a nice huge pool, it had a nice big jacuzzi. It had everything, a barbecue area. It had everything. And so basically I called my realtor and he said, you know what? That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. And I'm thankful that I didn't go through with that, because if I did, all of the extra money that I had, most likely it would have went towards an $18,000 mortgage or a $20,000 mortgage. At the time, the return on my investment was not enough to cover $18,000 a month. So looking back on it, and because I've ingrained it in my mind not to eat my seed, but to sow it, I am where I am today. And I'm sorry, folks, I sound a little bit preachy. I'm sorry. I don't mean to preach at y'all today. I know it's Sunday and everything, but I don't mean to preach. I just want to encourage you folks. And I want to let you know that it's okay having a contrary belief to everybody else that you hear and everybody else that you see. Sometimes you're going to have to be alone in this thinking. And sometimes when I hear people say things that don't agree with my experiences and what I've learned in this and what the Lord has taught me with this and what he's shown me with this, I have to be real humble about it. I have to be real humble about it because I ain't trying to hurt nobody's feelings. I ain't trying to make nobody feel bad. All I'm trying to do is help people. And that's where my heart is coming from. I want to help people. I'm not trying to get rich off people. That's not the intent. I do make money by doing what I do. And I think I'm good at what I do. I'm not great at it yet, but I'm good at it. And I'm trying to get to great, right? And so therefore, it's going to require me to sow more into that area, right? Sow into the areas where you want to be great. If you want to have a lot of money, you got to sow into that area. You got to invest into that area, whether it's paying for money for courses and classes to educate yourself, whether it's investing in the market, whether it's investing in real estate. You have to invest in the area that you want the results. You got to understand the difference between need, seed, need versus seed. And that's going to be the prelude to you can't live a rich man's life with poor man's thinking. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. It's on the way. I got it cooking. So if you want me to help you understand in your situation whether or not you're eating your seed, click in the show notes and find my calendar. Sit down with me for about 20-30 minutes, and I can help you figure that out real quick. So enjoy your day. Hopefully this message helps you. And until next time, everybody, 1, 2, 3, let's get it.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.